In today's episode, we're going to go over some resources that would help manage an eating disorder or other body image issues. There are a ton of resources out there. You just need to know where to look. The first resource we're going to look at is the National Eating Disorder Association. The National Eating Disorder Association is the largest nonprofit organization in America dedicated to supporting individuals and families affected by eating disorders. NEDO supports individuals and families affected by eating disorders and serves as a catalyst for prevention, cures, and access to quality care. According to the National Eating Disorder Association, their programs and services raise awareness to build communities of support and recovery. They also fund research and put life-saving resources into the hands of those who need them. NEDO also advocates for the advancements in the field of mental health and eating disorder research. They envision a world without eating disorders. NEDO also has an information and treatment option helpline that supports individuals and families affected by eating disorders. The helpline can be reached by calling or texting this number, 800-931-2237. You can also chat online with a trained representative of the National Eating Disorder Association at www.nationaleatingdisorders.org/contact-us. The National Eating Disorder Association's helpline gives you the option to become completely anonymous. This is a great resource if you just want to talk to someone and aren't ready to disclose personal information. Another resource we are going to cover is therapy. Here are some things to consider before we start. Therapy and mental health in today's society are extremely stigmatized. This is why it's important to learn about it as you're doing right now. This type of care usually does go through a medical office, and you should talk to your parents before engaging in therapy. Therapy in the context of mental health is a type of treatment that relieves emotional pain and focuses on mental health, including anxiety, depression, and other mental health disorders. This usually involves talking to a licensed therapist or counselor. It's important to note that anxiety and depression feed into eating disorders, which is why it's important to talk to a therapist. Going through therapy does not mean you're weak. It means you're taking the steps to heal yourself, which makes you stronger. No matter what anyone says, mental health is important and it's essential to take care of it. Now we're going to review the several types of therapy and specialists. Number 1. Eating disorder specialists. These are specialized therapists for eating disorders. They help you work through specific eating rituals and issues. Their methods may help you to normalize eating patterns and achieve a healthy weight, exchange unhealthy habits for healthy ones, learn how to monitor your own eating and your moods, develop problem-solving skills, explore healthy ways to cope with stressful situations, improve your relationships, and improve your mood. Number 2. Nutritionists. Nutritionists help you work towards a healthy weight by helping you to understand how nutrition affects your body. They can also help you recognize how eating disorders cause nutritional issues and physical problems. They help you practice meal planning, establish regular eating patterns, take steps to avoid dieting or binging, and help correct health problems that are a result of malnutrition or obesity. Other resources include talking to friends and family, helplines such as the National Eating Disorder Association, the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Helpline, which is 800-622-4357, and 988, which is the Suicide Hotline. Today we are also going to discuss how to talk to friends and family. This is entirely about your comfort level. Your best option is to talk to a trusted adult. Here are some tips on how to talk out your feelings to another person. If it's a friend, make sure they're comfortable and that you both set boundaries. Talk honestly about your feelings. Explain how they can help you navigate your feelings while also feeling comfortable. Do research together and with an adult, talk through possible treatment options as a team. Talk in a safe space. Being open is the best. This honesty will ensure a better conversation between you and your loved one. Now it's time for this episode's Myth Bust. Today's topic is a bit different than the others. We're going to explore more than one myth bust. Today's topic is therapy. Number 1. Therapy makes you weak or less than. This is so not true. Everyone struggles. From relationships to self-doubt to stress, everyone should be able to safely talk to someone, whether this person is a friend or a therapist. Part 2. Therapy can heal all my problems in 1 to 2 sessions. This isn't true. Therapy is a treatment, and like most health issues, it takes time to heal. Therapy happens in 45 to 60-minute sessions. Talking out what's on your mind is important. There's always something new to say as life keeps going. A lot of people are concerned about their image if they go to therapy. You should know that most people will be supportive, and you're not obligated to tell people. It's important to recognize the kind of people you have in your life and who's healthy for you. This includes friends as well. Good friends support you in whatever you do. That's it for today's Myth Bust. Let's review. Therapy does not make you weak. Therapy is a tool to help you heal over time. And words can hurt. Please be conscious of what you're saying. You never know what anyone else is going through. Let's move on to today's interview. Today we'll be hearing from the Director of Education at the National Eating Disorder Association, Elizabeth Altankara. So, what, in your opinion, is the definition of an eating disorder?
So, eating disorders are serious but treatable mental and physical illnesses that can affect anyone. Basically, eating disorders don't discriminate. It can affect people of any age, gender, sexual orientation, race, body shape, body weight. Anyone can get affected by eating disorders. So, there's still not a great consensus on the causes of eating disorders, but at this point, we know that it's gonna be a combination of psychological, social, and biological factors that combine and put the person at risk to develop an eating disorder.
Okay, so that can include your environment, like where you go to school, how your like your family, your culture, anything like that, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, the whole community and culture and everything can affect if any person is going to develop an eating disorder or not. Obviously, it's going to be wrong to say that there is, as I said, only a single cause, but definitely those combinations might put a person at risk for an eating disorder.
Okay. Your mission statement is NIDA supports individuals and families affected by eating disorders and serves as a catalyst for prevention, cures, and access to quality care. Could you go in a little bit more detail about that?
Of course, our goal at NIDA is to support anyone affected by eating disorders, and to be able to accomplish that mission, we have several programs at NIDA, and one of our biggest program is our helpline. So we have an information and treatment option helpline here. Basically, people can call us, can chat with us online, or send us a text message if they need any kind of information, support, or they need help finding treatment options in their areas. As you can imagine, since eating disorders are so complex, we recommend seeking help from a provider who specializes in eating disorders. And in some part of the country, it's really challenging to find eating disorder specialists.
Yeah.
So, for that reason, our helpline is there to help those who are ready to make that step. And it can help locate eating disorder services, treatment centers, or providers in their area. The other part of it is, we believe in the importance of research in eating disorder field. We know that there's still a lot of missing information, so we need to be learning more about these illnesses so that we can create more effective interventions. So for this reason, NIDA has a Feeding Hope Fund. Meaning every year we give out grants to researchers who are doing critical work to support the lives of people affected by eating disorders. So that is part of our mission as well. And then, both creating awareness, providing support, and also investing in research.
That's awesome. What you're saying the helpline, is that anonymous?
Yes, so basically it can be we ask some optional questions at the beginning of every conversation, but if the person wants to stay anonymous, they can, and everything that they share with us is confidential.
Awesome. Okay. So it can be used by middle schoolers who don't really want to say their name or if they don't want their
Yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Or
provides that anonymity. Yeah.
great. Okay. How many people do you help on a yearly basis?
That's another great question, and I can answer that question from the perspective of the helpline, I guess. So last year alone, over 50,000 people contacted us on the helpline to seek our services.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can talk a little bit about the effects of the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
But as I said, there are different ways people can contact the helpline. It could be online chatting, texting, or calling our toll-free number.
Yeah, I just think that's so important because people usually are like, I'm the only one with these issues. Like, it's just me. Like, this is the way I'm feeling. And I don't know, like, if anyone else feels it or anyone else identifies with that. And I just want to show that, like,
it's not just you. It's not just
Exactly.
in your head. It's an actual issue. So,
Yeah,
wow.
exactly. I mean, eating disorders in general are very secretive in nature, and
Yeah.
also there's this. Unfortunately, there's this big stigma around, around mental health and eating disorders specifically. So
Yeah.
for that reason, people don't feel really comfortable talking about their concerns if they are struggling, or they have a friend who is struggling. They don't know how to approach that person. So for that reason, at NIDA, we are really trying to raise awareness about these illnesses and to say that it's okay to seek help. That's what we always encourage.
That's awesome. Okay. How, as you were saying, COVID, how has it
Yeah.
impacted eating disorder care?
It's basically changed the way we eat, especially like at the very beginning of the COVID. And also you asked about how it impacted care. We kind of saw this emergence of virtual treatment options,
Yeah.
which was not ideal per se, but at the same time there have been a lot of advantages that it brought as well, because it really gave people the convenience, like if they were
Yeah.
living in remote areas, and then if the closest treatment center was 2 hours away, with virtual options, people really were able to access treatment easier that way.
Mhm.
But when we talk to providers and professionals in the field, they've been saying that they are seeing this acuity in eating disorder symptoms. So people are struggling more. People who've had disordered eating before really started experiencing full-blown eating disorders during the pandemic. Or, we've seen a lot of people, and we've heard from a lot of people who were saying that they were relapsing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the what it looks like right now is we've been hearing that there've been a lot of wait lists for treatment facilities because there are so many people who are trying to get in, as well as individual providers also like are having wait lists. Sometimes they don't have any availability. They're not taking new patients. So there is definitely this increased need for treatment and help in this field.
Okay. How important is it to get help if you are having issues, especially as someone who's young or on the younger side, even if you're just thinking uh,
Yeah,
about like your body image and stuff?
yeah, yeah,
I think it's important, but I would,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it is very important. I mean, we always recommend professional help at the very first sign of an eating disorder. So we tell people don't wait it to become a full-blown eating disorder, and we also have to acknowledge that it's not easy to seek help, or it's not easy to talk about these issues. There could also be some other societal, challenges which would prohibit the person from seeking help. However, we always encourage people to talk to someone, right? Whether it's a friend, it's a parent, just to open up, because those are very complex illnesses. And then support is key, especially in recovery. And we have some tip sheets on our website as well, if you want to have a look, in terms of how you can talk to someone if you're struggling with an eating disorder, or if you have a friend or a loved one who is struggling, how you should approach them about your concerns.
Could you go over, I saw on your website the screening tool,
Yes,
which I
yes,
thought was really interesting because
yeah,
I thought, like, if somebody had, like, questions and stuff but didn't know what they were feeling, like, you could
yeah,
go to that, and that's a really good resource. So I just wanted
yeah.
to see a little bit more about that.
Exactly. I mean, it's exactly how you described it. It's basically, it's not a diagnostic tool. Basically, only a professional will be able to provide a diagnosis, but it can really help determine if it's time to seek professional help. So basically, it's a very quick questionnaire. It's really going to take 3 minutes or so to complete the screening, and it's going to tell the person if they're at risk to develop an eating disorder. And at the end, there are even some resources that the screening can point out to, depending on the answers the person gives. So, it could be used to determine risk. And we encourage people to take the online screening, especially if like they don't know if they are struggling. And it could sometimes be validating. After taking it, person might think, okay, so this is not like there's something going on. I'm struggling. It's not like something that I'm
Kind of a
making up,
relief.
or
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
That's it for today's lesson. Let's go over a couple of things. There are so many resources out there. You can visit the National Eating Disorder Association's website for more information. As a friend, please think about your actions. You never know what your friend is going through. If you're struggling, find the right people to be open to, especially a trusted adult. And therapy is a helpful resource. That is this episode all complete. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode.
created using Powtoon.